Charlie has decided that I no longer deserve my chair, so here we go. Settle in, buddy. My computer is currently taken up by doing the podcast, episode 2. So it is currently the 14th of April, and I am recovering from a massive amount of work doing a show and a acting show as well. Art show, acting show, same weekend. So this is part of the devlog. I have not started on sketches yet in terms of the wax and wings aspects, but I am going to get started probably this week. It has been a very long week and weekend in terms of last week, but at least I have the podcast done, so I should be able to figure that out soon. I'm going to switch over to my screen so that I can show some of the references that I saved during my reference search for the Demeter ruins, temple, and modern setting. And I think that that'll be really fun to share. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Slowly getting there. Slowly. Go faster. So here I am at my computer. I'm going to switch over to my reference board. Before we get started, I'm going to just mention that I do my reference boards on a program called PureRef. They're going to be down in the description below. I didn't wind up recording as I was looking for references because I did it on call, and these were meant to be kind of kept secret and as a surprise from each other. So I'm going to zoom in and kind of talk about my inspiration for each of these things, and then we'll go from there. So what we are making this dev vlog for is the kind of inspiration behind our temples that we chose. And I chose Demeter, and Tiffany chose Hades as our first ones. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the Demeter one, and then Tiffany's going to do the Hades one. We talked about our rough concepts for them, and then we're going to switch. And when we switch, we'll reveal what we did with our references, share our references, and then show our sketches and final kind of idea of the ancient temple, the ruins of the ancient temple, and the modern temple. So the modern temple is going to be more like things that you would find in modern day rather than an actual temple. So like for mine, the ancient temple for Demeter is the goddess of the seasons, of farming and growth and all of those fun things. So I decided to do a round kind of temple that has an open top. So it's completely open form, surrounded by wheat and barley fields, and kind of having flowers and stuff that grow over. So this is some of the ruins that I was looking at. My temple will be just like a round dais, and you can see there's some like 3D stuff and whatnot too, but these are just kind of ideas. Covered by, this is Bougainvillea, which is a vining plant, and wisteria, which is kind of a vining tree, and then passion flower. So I want all of these kind of beautiful, vibrant flowers to be involved for this temple. My ancient temple, intact and ruins, are kind of like overlapping because they're going to have the same elements. It's just one's going to be more broken down than the other. So for the ruin specifically, I want like the vines and stuff to kind of be carpeting, but completely overgrown on these beautiful ornate Corinthian columns. So this is kind of the direction that I'm going. Lots of emphasis on gardens and plants and stuff like that. But for you can see how many references I have for both the intact and ruin ancient stuff. But I also have a ton of stuff for the modern. And the modern is based on a botanical garden. So we were kind of talking about the modern temples being based around work because of the idea of the characters gaining their strength from what they do, what their powers are representing. And since Demeter's main power is growth and, food and, that kind of fertility, I thought that a greenhouse or a botanical garden would be the perfect place for that. But I also wanted to do something that has like the Wheel of the Year and New Age kind of pagan things intertwined with it, because Demeter's story is largely based on the seasons. We have 6 months of famine and darkness because of when Persephone is in the underworld. Persephone is Demeter's daughter. So my kind of idea was to base the botanical garden off of these New Age themes of the Wheel of the Year and have kind of like braided wheat and stuff like that, little elements like that going throughout the botanical gardens, and the garden itself being a dome or a circle. And then I really liked the idea of incorporating water and having like statues and stuff like that. So my hope is to have kind of like this picture here, where it's walking paths along a kind of garden that is overarching with water below. And, having it be in a rotunda like this. A lot of these pictures come from the New York City Botanical Gardens in the Bronx. Gorgeous area. But this particular rotunda is what I'm thinking without the branches coming off of it. Just like a small Victorian style greenhouse as opposed to a huge place. And I think that I can do that pretty well. This statue here is a Gaia statue from the Atlanta Botanical Gardens in Georgia. And I really liked that idea as like, because Gaia in Greco-Roman mythology is a Titan. She predates the modern gods. But Gaia is literally the earth, and a lot of Demeter's powers are honoring the earth and the growth and the beauty of nature. So I thought that would be really cool. And then just having little elements like, an apothecary style. This is all candles and stuff like that. I really loved that. A cobblestone path with circles or moons. Like, I really enjoy that kind of motif, bringing in more of that like New Age stuff and the cycles and all of that. So I'm going to get started on some iterations soon. We talked about having 3 to 5 iterations and then one finalized sketch and up to 10 callouts from that finalized sketch. So I think that's doable. And I think that it's going to have the type of plants that will be involved are going to be very like herb heavy, things that are used in a lot of spell work, things like that, so that it really brings home that New Age kind of idea. And another kind of aspect that I was thinking with this is that not only is this New Age stuff going to be represented in the modern day temple, but it's also going to be part of her current personality in the modern world. So I think that she'll have a very kind of witchy, new agey, kind of like flowy, whimsical kind of vibe to her. And I want that to come through in the environment too. Oh, also something that I didn't talk about is like these statues and stuff. I really like the idea of specifically water statues because they have a very unique look. And like the rising and falling of the tides is kind of that season aspect, passage of time, but not quite connected to Demeter so much as just an interesting thing that I could play with. So I think that that'll be fun to kind of incorporate in the botanical garden. Not that there's going to be the rising and lowering of tides in the botanical garden because it's all like meticulously maintained, but it's still something to play around with. Like we have in this reference here, like this tall pillar overgrown with vines and stuff. Like if this was a statue instead, then that would be really pretty. But I'm kind of thinking that like the one of the overarching aspects in like witchcraft specifically is as above, so below. Like when we're talking about the kind of mindset to paganism. So I'm thinking that the water will be circular, just like the rotunda, and it will kind of mimic what's going on in the glass above with the there's going to be like the water in the center. It'll come out on either side and then make a river around the outer circle. And then there will be like statues and stuff in the center and then also in the outer ring. And I think I could do some really fun stuff with like stepping stones and water lilies and like really cool aquatic plants as well. So I'm excited to get started on this. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to kind of incorporate the ancient temple aspects of like the flowering plants, vining, and the Corinthian columns into the modern stuff somehow as well. And I'm still kind of trying to figure out a way to do that, but I think that it's going to be amazing to work on. So I'm excited, and I will get started on my sketching soon. So we are a couple of weeks past when I did that first couple of recordings for the devlog. At the moment, it is April 28th, and I have gotten my sketches done. Those are going to be on a different devlog when we reveal to each other our sketches. And I will be starting the Hades sketches fairly soon for my versions of those temples. And then we'll kind of compare what we are doing with that. Suddenly it just got very blue on my camera. So I hope that you enjoyed this dive down into my references, and we will be back soon with some more information on Wax and Wings or the podcast, whatever comes first. If you'd like to support the channel, then go ahead and like and subscribe. If you'd like to support me, then I have my main channel, which is down in the description below, and a couple of other places you can support, like Patreon, Coffee, those types of things. So I hope that you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.